Welcome back, all you boomerites and Muppets. How you doing? It's episode 3 of Case of the Mondays. This is King Boomer, and I'm joined by Matt, the one and only Matt. Say hello, brother.
What's poppin'?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Here we are again, recording Case of the Mondays. Very late on Monday.
Very late. It's about to be Tuesday up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I feel like this is a special episode for me. We just hit 10,000 subscribers. So I wanted to thank everyone who helped accomplish this, because this is your accomplishment, not mine, because I'm just a Muppet. I just stand in front of the camera and act like a Muppet all day. So thank you very much to everyone who subscribed. I know the channel leans very heavily to the UK audience that I have, because it's mostly you guys who have been subscribing. But from the bottom of this Muppet's heart, thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Matt, what do you think about all this?
I think it's awesome, and I'm super excited to watch your channel grow, and I'm excited to be along for the ride. And I'm very surprised on how fast the channel grew, that too. But then again, you're also like an algorithm king, so you've been playing the algorithm pretty well, and I don't know, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm glad. I remember when this channel was just you and Queen Boomer going to Peanut Island and all, or Singer Island. What's it called? Singer Island?
Peanut Island. You had it right the first time.
Okay, yeah. So I remember when the channel was just you and Queen Boomer going to Peanut Island, and you were just aquatic profiles. I miss aquatic profiles.
Oh, I got to bring that back. Yeah, I've actually got some good footage to do that.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite ones to do because they're really short, and I just use that, kind of like half David Attenborough voice.
Have you considered making shorts of those? Like minute long, like you know how like YouTube kind of plays those shorts out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend doing I was thinking maybe you do some shorts of aquatic profiles. Cut them down to like a minute and just pump out a few of them,
On shorts, I don't know if you can monetize shorts though. You might be able to, but like
sure
every
shorts.
It's I don't know, like every time when I read about shorts, it said like you can't monetize them or something like that. But I could be wrong.
Well, I know shorts are good for channel growth. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I did 2 shorts. It was just one of Callie's TikToks, and then the other one was me making fun of her in the gym for like 10 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And I put those up, and they did decently.
Yeah. I'm down for the regular length aquatic profiles too. I'm a big fan. You know me.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are definitely my favorite to do. I wish they did better, but most of those were up before the channel really started to kick off. So,
all right,
maybe I got to do a new one and see how that goes. So test that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the channel's growing very fast. I mean, I think it's been less than 2 months, and when I only had like a handful of subscribers, now I've got 10,000, and it's really special. It's blowing me away. And you mentioned the algorithm, like, the stuff where I react to comedians overseas and stuff and other things. Yeah, that I purposely put out the algorithm for that. But some of the things I don't. And some of them do well, some of them don't. It's just, one of those things. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. And this is one of my most favorite things to do now, because this is a lot of fun talking to you, you frickin' Muppet.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. I've been having fun doing these. I've been having fun doing these podcasts. These little podcasts,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it also gives us a reason to chit chat and all that.
Yeah. Why do you think? Why do you think people from the UK and Ireland and Australia and all these places like watching Americans watch their stuff? What do you think? What do you think is the intrigue behind that?
I think they're doing it to laugh at you. I don't know. Honestly.
Well, they make fun of me too, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of positivity in your comments. I actually don't see a lot of the negative stuff. I mean, then again, I guess you as a creator, you're like, you're reading all these comments more than I am. I see a lot of these comments that are like most of the upvoted ones in your chat also are like pretty positive, and you're very involved in your audience because and you have the luxury to do that because you're still because 10,000 subs is a lot, but at the same time you're able to like jump on these comments pretty early. Um,
Yeah.
I think I don't know about why specifically people overseas love talking about Americans. I think like because you hear it both sides. You hear people that are like, "Oh yeah, they Europeans love Americans," and then you hear the other side like Europeans freaking hate Americans. Like it's both ways. So I don't know. I'm actually interested to find out. I don't know if it's because they love you so much or if it's because they hate you so much.
I mean, it could be a mixture.
Yeah,
I mean, there's some, I have gotten negative comments, and I appreciate those ones as well. There's only been like probably count on one hand list where I encountered some really nasty, like anti-American comments where they felt like they had to get their superiority complex out in a comment on one of my videos.
yeah,
And I didn't really do anything about it. I was just like, yeah, whatever. But then like on other videos, I'd see the same person pop up and say that pretty much the same nasty crap on those videos. So then I was, those were the ones where I was like, all right, that's enough of you, and I just blocked them.
huh.
But which I don't like to do because I'm a big free speech guy. But if you're just coming on my videos just to crap all over my country and everyone else who lives here, then do it somewhere else. Don't do it on mine.
I was gonna say I live here too, man. I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think
I mean, some of them are funny when they crap on us, but like, I know those are the ones where they're not really trying to be hateful. They're just,
they're trying to get
throwing
a laugh. Yeah,
yeah, they're trying to get a laugh and a diss out at the same time, and I always appreciate that.
a light roast, if you will. Yeah,
Yeah, well, sometimes it's a heavy roast, but
that's fair.
it's the ones that are, the ones that I caught where they commented on multiple videos where they're just being purely nasty. I was like, hit the road, Jack. See you later.
Yeah.
But I only had to do that to like 3 or 4 people, so
Well, that's not
so
bad.
yeah, it's not bad. 3 or 4 out of 10,000. Come on.
Hey, I'm just saying. Some people enjoy hearing Matt's voice. I saw a couple comments on the little podcast that they like Matt. I'm like, hey, I'm just a boy in front of a bunch of people, trying to get them to love me.
Yeah, but they probably like you because you sound like a Muppet too.
I think it's mainly because of the rugby thing, but that Muppet thing
Oh
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of love on that stuff, but I mean, a little bit of love. Obviously, it's not my channel, but you know.
Maybe I should do some reaction videos to rugby then.
Oh, dude, you got to do.
Actually, I did have some comments where they actually asked me to do some rugby stuff, so
You
maybe
gotta
I should get into
do.
that.
Yeah, you got to do like a big hits compilations. Hit a
Yeah.
couple of those, dude. Oh yeah, they're sick. US's
Yeah.
US's team is decent. We're not like top 5 or anything like that, but we're a good team.
Yeah.
But I mean, Australia and New Zealand, especially New Zealand All Blacks, are badasses. They're pretty sick. I don't know. I think you need to
Do you mean
watch.
their whole team's black, or is that their name?
The name is All Blacks.
Oh.
They're all blacked out uniforms, everything like that. They do this thing called
I'm not going to lie. When you said that, you were like, yeah, New Zealand, they're all black.
no. New Zealand's team is the All Blacks. No,
Yeah.
God dang it. Um, they do this. They do this thing.
Like, where are you going with this, Matt? We got to keep it. We're trying not to curse anymore. Now we're not trying to. Now we're not trying to alienate a certain a certain
No.
color of the fan base.
Listen here, Brian. All right, King Boomer. No. So they do this thing before each game, or before the big games at least. It's called the Mori Haka, and it's like a. It's basically
I've
like
actually heard of this. I've never seen it though.
yeah, it's basically like a native New Zealand war dance. Like they're native New Zealanders from back in the day. It was like their, I think it was something to do with their war dances,
Mhm.
or it's very traditional this dance, and they shout in it, and they do these. It gets me hype, man. When I was playing rugby, I would watch these videos of them doing it, and it would just get under my skin. And it would make me so. I would get amped up watching it, man. So I think you should do a couple Rugby, like big hit compilations. Check out a couple of the all black games and like watch the Morihaka. I think it'd be cool. Get some more European sports stuff in your channel.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Obviously, New Zealand's not in Europe, but yeah,
Yeah, but it's a English speaking country,
that is
so
true.
part of the Commonwealth, I believe.
I think so.
So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, once again, thank you for the 10,000 subscribers out there.
You're welcome.
Love you guys. And I will continue to do reactions. I want to get into other stuff too. I really want to get into animation, but I have no clue what I'm doing. I just downloaded this Blender thing, which seems really cool to use, but it seems insanely complicated for my Muppet brain. So I'm going to have to take some classes on it or something. But yeah, animated like history videos, that's what I'd really love to do.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I know you're a big history guy.
Yeah.
I'm a big history guy too. I love history.
All history's great.
Yeah.
But anyway, Matt, have you heard any more about the Will Smith fallout from the slap of the century?
I've heard a couple things.
What have you heard?
So what I heard was that the Academy was planning on doing like a hearing, basically, like a summit of sorts. And they were going to talk
Ooh,
about
I didn't hear about this.
So they were going to talk about the whole situation with Will slapping Chris and like the ramifications of what was going down. So Will, I'm pretty sure it was a preemptive move to get out of the light, but Will Smith actually resigned from the Academy.
I did see that, yes.
Yeah, he resigned and he like put out a big piece about how he was like, what he said was disgusting and all that stuff and all that. But the Academy was meeting together because they were gonna vote on whether or not to take his award away.
Oh,
because of
the
what
plot
happened.
thickens.
Because of what happened. Yeah, like they're taking actually what he did into account and be like, hey, does he actually deserve this thing? Or should we take it away because he's being a crybaby about a woman who doesn't really love him? I'm still salty about the whole situation. I still think Chris is in the right, but if you can't tell by my one-sidedness, but I think this whole thing is, I think it's being dragged out a little bit.
It is.
But,
you know, one of the great things that I've seen about it, though, is all the comedians rallying behind Chris Rock. That's a really, I'd love seeing that.
Me too. Did you see what Jim Carrey said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Well, Jim Carrey started out. I mean, he might be a comedy actor, and I mean, he's also a pretty good actor.
Oh, he would. No, he definitely did a bunch of comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he started out as a stand-up comic. I mean, I'm pretty sure the guy was like living out of a van when he was young.
Yeah, he was on a lot of comic shows in like the 90s and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of
in
those
Living
things,
Color. You seen any of those in
that's
Living
what
Color bits?
In Living Color, that's the one. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think I got to I think I just got a new idea. I got to react to some of them too.
Oh yeah, in Living Color.
There's some gems in there that like people who love Jim Carrey and have seen a lot of his stuff have never seen of that.
There's a lot of actors from like the 90s and all that started as comedians, and I think a lot of those people, like Jim Carrey was speaking up, but I think like more of them should, like maybe like Adam Sandler. I would love to hear like Adam Sandler's take on this.
Well, yeah, of course, because he's a big. I'm pretty sure he's a really good friend of Chris Rock's.
Yeah, especially after.
That's his boy.
Yeah, especially like they were in Grown Ups together, and they've been doing comedy stuff together for a while. So
Yep.
I would love to hear like some of like Chris Rock's friends and all that. I would really love to hear like both sides, like bring in like the friends. Like I'm shocked more people haven't really been like tweeting or things about that. You know, I feel like
Did you hear what Ricky Gervais said about what happened?
no.
Because that was what everybody was asking. Like, what does Ricky Gervais think of all this? He said he wouldn't have made a joke about Jada Pinkett's hair. He would have made a joke about her boyfriend.
Oh no, that's rough. That is rough, though. I mean, I could see
Yeah.
Ricky doing it, but that's Ricky Gervais, though. That's like he lives for that. He lives for controversy.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I
But
hope that the Oscars the next year they don't really punish Will. They invite him back and then make Ricky Gervais host,
Will
and then
would
make
be,
him
Will
make
would be
him sit
verbally
in the
thrown
front
fire.
row and then just listen to Ricky roast him for 5 minutes straight, or however long he wants to go on it.
Will would verbally or Ricky would verbally set Will on fire.
Yeah.
He would torch that man.
Oh my god, it would be the funniest thing ever.
Dude, they're still coming out with memes. They're still coming out with memes.
Oh yeah, I actually have a reaction video scheduled to. It should be up to tomorrow. Well, by the time this podcast airs, it'll already be up. But it's a meme that somebody made of they put Will Smith's face over Rick James in that Dave Chappelle skit, and then they put Chris Rock's face over Charlie Murphy's head.
Rick James, bitch. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, seeing all the comedians rally behind Chris Rock, it's I love that, because that's one. I'll say one thing for comedians: that's one tribe where almost all of them are always in unison together on the same team, no matter what their differences are.
Yeah, I mean, we hit big on that point a lot in the last episode of Case of the Mondays, where we were saying how a lot of, like, because comedians' jobs at the end of the day is to push the envelope and like tell jokes, see what sticks and what doesn't stick. And when people are attacked for them doing their job, like, you don't like the way they do it, but that's their job at the end of the day, you know?
Yep.
Let the man joke.
Let the man joke.
That was a big point for us. But
let him joke.
yeah, I think there's a lot. I think it's being dragged out a lot, but I'm glad to see that a lot of the comedians are coming to Chris Rock's defense, because he didn't really. I'm still in the boat. He didn't do anything wrong, but
yeah,
that's just me.
Do you think Will Smith is looking at all the fallout from this and thinking, "Oh man, I really effed up"?
I think it's that, as well as him.
Or do you think he's detached from reality and he's like, yeah, I'd do it again?
I think he's actually. I think there's a little bit of both. I think he does feel bad, or a little bit of remorse, but I also feel like he's doing all this stuff to save face. You know, it seems like he's trying to save his career, because there are so many networks. There's so many things that Will had with a bunch of networks that were in the works that all have either paused or canceled outright projects with Will Smith in them.
Yeah, and I think
like Will Smith had a couple movies going on. Like they were going to do like Bright 2, which the first.
Oh my God, why?
I know. I know.
That's like that like when they did what's that recent comic book movie that came out where I was like, why would they try that again? Oh, Suicide Squad. I was like,
whoa, slow down. The second Suicide Squad was way better than the first one.
And, was it?
Yeah. Oh, it's actually funny. It's actually really good. And it was so successful that specifically John Cena's character, Peacemaker, was so successful that there's actually a Peacemaker show now with John Cena.
It's on HBO.
Yeah. And they're doing a new season of it, because I'm pretty sure the first season's over. Yeah, like that one succeeded. That one, like, that was worlds better than the first one. But I don't even remember what we were talking about, because I was just like, I had to defend Suicide Squad because it was actually really good. The new one. What were we talking about?
We were talking about Will Smith.
Oh, right, because we were talking about Bright 2 and how they're doing that dumpster fire of a sequel. That movie. Did you see Bright?
I watched like 20 minutes of it.
It was bad. It was so.
And I didn't like it.
It was so bad.
I shut it off.
It was so bad. It was so bad. But
yeah, well, I said the same thing about Suicide Squad. So I was like, why would they try this again? I didn't like the first one.
I mean, James Gunn was he was the director. James Gunn, I hit it out of the park.
There's not one character in there that I give a flying crap about.
That's fair. That's fair. But you know,
I don't even. You know, a lot of people like Harley Quinn. I can't stand Harley Quinn. If I ever see a movie with Joker in it and Harley Quinn's in it too, I'm probably gonna throw up.
Yeah, like the Birds of Prey movie or whatever that they did. It was that.
Yeah, I don't know what it was called.
Movie. I don't know. People pour their hearts out into Harley Quinn for some reason. Her story. I mean, she has a cool story in the comic book. She actually is like currently a hero instead of being a villain. She's no longer a villain, from what I understand. But
what did she break up with the Joker or something?
Broke up with the Joker, and she
said, "I'm going to team up with Batman now."
She trained with.
Probably try to unzip his pants in the process.
Exactly. No, she trained with like.
What does that really happen?
No, they trained with like Wonder Woman's. She trained with like
DC Comics is getting a little X-rated, huh?
Yeah. That's exactly it. No, a Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman's people in the Amazon like trained Harley Quinn. I was watching a video about it because I watch a bunch of like comic book videos because I'm a
Wonder Woman trains.
Not
Harley Quinn.
Not Wonder Woman, but like the people of Amazon, the Amazonians. That's the word. But going off on a little tangent of Harley Quinn. I'm not a big Harley Quinn person. I think it's cool what they're doing with her in the comic books, but they're pouring a little much into her, in my opinion. But they're really leaning into Peacemaker, and I'm all for it because I love John Cena. I've always been a John Cena guy. I love wrestling. I think
you're making me want to crawl through this screen.
Yeah.
And slap the taste out of your Muppet mouth.
You don't like John Cena?
No, he ruined wrestling for me.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand him.
Wow, I love John Cena.
He's the least believable character in wrestling history.
Okay. I didn't know what to say to that.
There's such an awkward silence. I mean, look, he's a white rapper who can't rap. And
hey, man, my time is now was pretty hype.
Oh my God! Stop.
The lyrics aren't bad in that song. The lyrics aren't bad, but I mean, I do like. I know you're a big WWF guy, but
well, no, I'm not. I don't watch it anymore. But like back in the day,
yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, you were. Yeah, because you know you're King Boomer.
But it was and that's when I stopped.
Everything old.
Yes. Yes, that is true. All hail the king of everything boomish and old, and all the muppetry that comes with it. But I watched wrestling all the time when I was a kid, and even until my adult years. And then, John Cena came along. He was winning belts left and right. Nobody could beat him, and it's just every year it was John Cena wins, John Cena wins, John Cena wins. And at the time, they had so much other talent that was better than him, and they would just get buried by him on a weekly basis, it seemed like. And finally, I was like, you know what, I've had enough. And then The Rock came back, and because, who doesn't love The Rock? I came back to see him wrestle, and of course, he wrestled John Cena. So I was like, well, I have to see this, because that would be the greatest thing if The Rock comes back and beats John Cena at WrestleMania, which did happen, but then they did the rematch a year later where Cena went over him. But it's Cena ruined it for me.
I can't
stand him.
I find it funny that like the wrestling fans pick and choose like who they love and who they hate, and it's that's true, because I do love John Cena, but I also I'm a big Dwayne Johnson guy. I always have been. But then again, like
that's The Rock to you, sir.
Sorry, The Rock. My apologies.
Don't be a jabroni.
My bad.
Rock will slap the taste out of your mouth.
Yes, he will. But I won't be. I'll still be able to smell what The Rock is cooking, though. But
that's right.
I find it funny for all the wrestling fans out there, that everyone unanimously hates Roman Reigns. I love
yes.
That. Everyone hates
that's
him, and he's supposed to be a good guy.
I know. Well, that's their biggest problem right now. Like, you remember when because you said you were such a big John Cena fan. You know how like it seemed like half the crowd hated him and the other half loved him at times.
Yeah.
And no matter what, he was never a heel. They always pushed him as a good guy. But
yeah.
And in some arenas, it would be like very heavy anti-Cena. but they'd still be the good guy in the show.
Yeah.
But not with Roman Reigns. They've been pushing him to be the good guy. And, I don't know what's going on right now in the WWE, but I always kept hearing about this Roman Reigns stuff where they were pushing him and pushing him and pushing him as this good guy. And he started, they basically pushed him like John Cena. He just beat everybody and he never lost. And the entire crowd absolutely hated it. And it's a problem for them because I'm not, like I said, I'm not keeping up with it, but their ratings I've heard are absolutely abysmal to the point where it's like the worst it's ever been since when they first started going on television.
I also just don't like Roman
Makes
Reigns.
me wonder how they make money.
I don't know either. I have no idea. I don't like Roman Reigns either. I think he looks like the crappy second hand of a crappy James Bond villain from the 90s. Like he looks like a henchman. He doesn't even look like a character. He
looks like a Bond henchman, you're right.
He's an NPC, he doesn't actually look like a character. He beat Brock Lesnar recently and everyone booed him.
Was it at WrestleMania this past weekend?
Yeah, it was at WrestleMania 38. Yeah. He just beat Brock Lesnar. And
well, he beat The Undertaker too, right?
I think that's crazy. Like, why are they know that the fans don't like him, but they're pushing him so hard, and I don't get it. I'm not a Vince McMahon.
Well, one of the things about Cena though is he, like, no matter how many people hated the guy, he always was top of the sales in merch. Like, he was selling merchandise left and right. I don't know if Roman Reigns is selling merch left and right, but if he isn't, then it makes me wonder why they haven't changed their tune and made him into a bad guy or anything.
I think they should.
Maybe they have, but like I said, I don't watch it anymore. But maybe they did experiment with that for like a few months, turning him into a bad guy. But who knows? Because that product is such crap now.
I feel like the fans would love him turning into a villain, and they just beat the crap out of him.
Well, first they got to get fans. I would say first they got to get fans back. I don't know.
I think
like a lot of my friends used to watch wrestling. None of them do anymore.
I think it's past its prime. Unfortunately,
it is.
Like, I hate to say
it'll never be as big as it was in the late '90s and early 2000s.
Oh no! It was an entirely different culture. But people nowadays just like that. I feel like the age group of people that it was marketed to back then, that market of the same age group today, none of those people watch wrestling. Like, yeah. I think they gotta play to their old fans more in order to get them back. I think wrestling is so entertaining. I get that it's
it is when they do it right.
Yeah, wrestling is fake, obviously. But that's not the point of watching it. The point of watching is because you get big hits and you get drama and you get like them screaming at each other. Like The Rock yelling at people, telling them it doesn't matter what their name is it just gets people going, Like,
my favorite thing The Rock ever said was I believe he was like promoting a pay-per-view and he had an upcoming match against Stone Cold Steve Austin, and when he was talking about what he was going to do to Steve Austin, and then he goes, Steve, every time The Rock takes a look at you, he immediately comes to the conclusion that your mother and a big pile of crap made love, and out came your monkey ass. I'll never forget that line. I think I was drinking something, and I spewed it everywhere.
You've quoted that to me a few times.
Have I? I love it. Yeah, it was like the most memorable thing he ever said, but it's like, it's not, because there's so many things you can quote that The Rock said, but that's one of the ones that not too many people remember, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Speaking of WWE legends, did you get a chance to see anything about Stone Cold returned to WrestleMania to have a match?
I did not see it. What happened? Fill me in.
No, well, I just I didn't order the pay-per-view. I didn't watch WrestleMania, but I knew he was going to wrestle, but that's the thing. It's his first match in 19 years. He's an old man at this point. I did not care to see one of my basically heroes get in the ring as an old man now. So I didn't have any interest in seeing that. I was like, no thanks. I'd rather remember Stone Cold in his last match against The Rock at WrestleMania and in that one in Seattle in 2003.
Right.
But I did, because it did raise my curiosity, I did watch, like, I think it was like a cut-up or mash-up of the match that he had against Kevin Owens. And it was a mixed reaction from me. Like, part of me was like, wow, he moves really good for an old man because he's almost 60 now. And then the other half of me was like, yeah, you can tell he's 60 at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't have his shirt off. He had a t-shirt on over the whole match. He had his classic leg braces on. But not the tights. He had, like, you know, those jean short things or whatever that are real tight around his legs. And he didn't do a lot of bumps because, you know, he's got basically a surgically repaired neck.
Right.
But yeah, it was like surprising to see him move that well for a 60-year-old man, and at the same time it was like, please don't do that again, and I don't want to see that again, kind of thing.
Please don't snap your neck jumping from the top rope.
Yeah. But, you know, I just don't want to see, you know, those wrestling icons wrestle at that old age. You know, most of them do wrestle into their 40s now, it seems like. But, you know, once they hit the 50 mark, it's like, that's enough. Just wrap it up, dude.
Like, do you remember seeing...
You've done enough.
Like when Ric Flair retired? Dude.
How many times? He retired like 17...
Well,
he retired more times than he won championships.
The last time he retired, he was looking bad. He looked...
Yeah, because
so
he was like
bad.
a 70-year-old geezer.
Yeah. I don't understand why he even...
Well, I do, because he was, I mean, financially... He has never been financially savvy. He's always needed money.
That's true.
Because as soon as he gets it, he wastes it. But... Which sucks, because I love Ric Flair, but I don't really mean to talk bad about the guy. Woo! Love that guy. But yeah, he's always had problems in his life about handling money. So that's why you see him come out of retirement. But I'm pretty sure Stone Cold is a wealthy man. So I don't know.
I feel like he does a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what made him want to come out of retirement for one last match. Thank God it was only one match and not like, you know, he's trying to resurrect his career in a ring or anything.
Yeah, not hitting the tours. He's just hitting at WrestleMania 38.
Yeah. So thank God that was that. Matt, you wanted to bring up Elon Musk. What did you want to talk about him?
So, Elon Musk recently bought, I think now he's at basically 10% of Twitter's stock. The man bought...
I did hear about this. Yeah, okay.
The man recently bought 9.2% of all of Twitter's stock recently. Mm-hmm. So now Elon Musk is the top shareholder in Twitter. So he actually has...
With only 9%?
At 9.89%. I mean, think about how long Twitter's been around.
So he's the top shareholder with only that much percent.
Well, that's what happens when your company's been around and your company's like a globally shared product. And it's just like 9.89% of all of Twitter. That's a lot. The next person's like 9.6, and then jumps like 8.9, and then jumps like 8.2, and then it just plummets. Like the top like 3 or 4 people that hold stock in Twitter only hold together like 27%.
Yeah.
Say?
What do you think? Elon Musk's intentions are in doing this?
So he's been tweeting about it a lot. So he's very
just the irony of that. Why do you think he bought all that stock so he could tweet some more?
Yeah, honestly.
Why else?
No, literally, that is actually the reason. He has been really big on.
Has he been one of those guys who's been attacked on Twitter and like they try to censor him a little bit?
It's not that he's getting attacked on Twitter by other people. It's that Twitter as a whole has been really cracking down on like free speech stuff lately. And
Yeah, they've been doing that for years now, it seems like.
yeah, and it's getting a little worse.
Thank God I don't. Do you have a Twitter?
I have one, but I don't use it. Like I have one for my YouTube channel, but obviously I don't go on it anymore. So
Because I have I now have a reason to get one. I have a channel with 10,000 subscribers, and guess what? I'm still never going to get one.
you say that
Because I absolutely hate Twitter. It brings out the worst in the human race, it seems like to me. You are talking crap to people you will never meet, who are sitting behind a computer desk all day long. It's ridiculous.
Oh, the people on Twitter are ruthless, man.
It is ridiculous. Like, all these people on Twitter think they're tough guys now because they're sitting behind a computer screen talking crap about hundreds of different people with no consequences.
Exactly. Like what a consequence life you must live, or a consequence-free life you must live, being able to go on Twitter and telling someone that you don't like that you hope a chainsaw gets shoved in their ass, like things like that.
Yeah, things like that. And like most of these people have never been in a fight, never been smacked around. Not to bring us back to Will Smith or anything, like what he did was wrong, but there's certain things that, people aren't making jokes about these people on Twitter. They're actually saying like, no, I'd like crappy things like I want you to die in a ditch, things like this. And it's like, dude, you need an ass whooping.
Exactly. But
sorry to go on a rant about that, but
no,
I just
good,
absolutely can't stand Twitter.
No, you're good. I don't have one either. That's exactly it. But so Elon Musk bought all this share on Twitter. Now he's the prime shareholder in Twitter. So he actually has a lot of voice in what goes on Twitter. So he bought it because he wants to give more free speech back to people on Twitter. And now he's been in talks with, there's like a couple, like I think it was like Fox News radio hosts or like a couple other radio hosts on the conservative side, and he's been talking to people, and now he is possibly gonna try to start his own platform from the ground up, like a new social media platform ran by Elon.
Well, if he was doing that, then why did he buy all that Twitter stock?
Well, he still wants to be able to have all the free speech stuff on Twitter because in case it doesn't work out. And plus, I mean, that much money in Twitter can make you a lot of money. It actually shot up. He bought it and he tweeted a bunch about buying it, and then he did it, and Twitter's stock went up 27% in one day.
Holy crap.
That's a lot.
Yeah, Elon Musk has that effect.
Dude, he does it all the time. He literally tweeted. I remember when all those Bitcoin knockoffs, like Doge and all that stuff, were like big. He literally tweeted the word Doge, and it went up ridiculous.
I remember that, yes.
Yeah. So
that was wild.
Elon Musk is like the meme lord of Twitter, and I think him doing this is a huge move in the social media world. And
what do you think? What do you think of the guy? What do you think of Elon Musk?
I'm
curious about your opinion.
I love Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk.
Yeah?
He is our scene kid savior. All right, that kid, like Elon Musk is every like weirdo's like fever dream celebrity. Like I love Elon Musk. I think he's a lunatic, but like in a good way. In a good way. He's a good lunatic. He's he loves talking crap to other billionaires and people that don't care about other, like the main, like people that don't care about the everyday person. I'm not saying he does, but
right.
He absolutely takes hot dumps on the chest of any person that's a garbage billionaire. And I love that. I love Elon Musk. I think he's hilarious. I think he's almost a breath of fresh air in a sense.
Okay.
I love Elon Musk. But I'm very curious to see where all this Twitter stuff goes, because
yeah, that'll be interesting.
Buying that much, if he actually has say in what goes down on Twitter now. Like one of the original founders of Twitter only has like 2.5% stock. This man has 10%.
That happens to a lot of people who start companies, man.
I mean, yeah, you
seems
sell your
like
money to buy it out, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
But it's Twitter
I don't know.
at the end of the day, you know? There's like there's so many users on Twitter. But
yeah. I don't know, like I don't, those like CEO corporate people like that, I never really liked any of them. Elon Musk is an enigma to me. I don't like him. I don't dislike him, but I will give him a lot of credit because it seems like he is trying to do the right thing in a lot of areas in his work.
Right.
He seems like he is actually looking out for people who are not in the club, as you say, like the other rich corporations. It actually seems like he genuinely wants to help people and further, the human race. It seems like, he's trying to find different ways to make life easier for humans on the planet. But at the same time, because my cynical side comes out and goes, yeah, but for how long? How long is he going to be like that? Until it's like me waiting for I'm sitting there. I'm Mace Windu.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk is Anakin Skywalker, and I'm just waiting for him to mess up because I know he's going to turn into the dark side eventually. But I could be wrong. I don't know the guy too well, but it does seem like he generally cares about people, and especially the people that are under his umbrella. But yeah, I don't know if it seems genuine, but I don't know because people in that, when you have that much money and that much power, it's like it seems like it eventually gets to everybody where they turn into buttholes.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping I'm wrong about Elon Musk. I'm not saying he will, but it's like I'm suspicious.
Right.
But for now, he does seem like a pretty good dude.
He's been doing good so far. So we'll see if he continues the trend of being a wholesome person.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, what happened to Bruce Willis?
So Bruce Willis retired recently. He stepped down from acting.
Yeah.
So he has some illness. I think he has aphasia or aphasia. And
I thought you were going to say alopecia. I was like, oh, shit, here we go again.
The man's been bald for no.
He's had alopecia for a long time.
So he has aphasia. He's been diagnosed with aphasia. And so what that does for all you...
Does it affect his alopecia?
Yes, it does. Very badly, actually.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. Dang it, Brian. You're throwing off my flow here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
You're good. So aphasia is basically a cognitive disorder that makes it so you have trouble speaking, comprehending words.
Oh no.
Writing. So not only
I'm not the biggest Bruce Willis fan, but I don't wish something like that on anybody.
Yeah. So he's having trouble
except for maybe Dan Snyder.
Oh no. Sounds like we're getting into that later. But
yeah, oh yes, we are.
Spoiler alerts. But so aphasia basically it slows the comprehension of words and it makes it so it's difficult to process words, difficult to speak words, difficult to like think and read and all that stuff. This kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know if he's had like a stroke or something or if it's like aphasia due to dementia, but like the big thing is that he has aphasia and his family was like, get the hell out of acting. You need to rest and you need to like work on this. And so his daughter has been like taking over his social media stuff and like telling everybody what's been going on, like giving a progress on Bruce and making sure that people are still in the loop with what's going on with him and his aphasia. So it is sad. It's very sad because I love Bruce Willis, man. I'm a big Bruce Willis guy. I love Die Hard. I like just so many classic Bruce Willis movies, though.
There's some good ones, yeah. I was never a huge fan of his, but I didn't dislike him either. But I mean, what's that disease called again that you said?
Aphasia.
Aphasia. I mean, it's just your description of what happens with that disease, that sounds awful.
It is awful.
I mean, you basically, it sounds like you're eventually not going to know who he is.
And it's a scary thought,
Yeah. Especially when you're somebody like Bruce Willis.
he's got millions and millions of dollars, and this stuff happens, and I'm over here like struggling in my restaurant job, thinking like, oh God, what's gonna happen to me in the future?
Yeah,
You know? But yeah, it sucks. That's sad because
that's really
I
sad.
love Bruce Willis, man. I was a like I said, I'm a big diehard fan. It was really good. What was that other one? The mind screwy one. Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, yeah.
Sixth Sense was really good. Hostage was a good movie. Like,
I bet you really liked what was it, Unbreakable?
yeah, I liked Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Unbreakable. Glass, all that.
I loved him in Pulp Fiction. I mean, he's kind of an afterthought in Pulp Fiction because of how great that movie is, but I loved him in that.
Pulp Fiction is like the cult classic. You know?
Yeah, well, it's what I think it's one of the 10 best movies ever made.
Yeah, well, Quentin Tarantino is a genius. So
yes. But yeah, he's had he's been in a lot of movies for a long time, and it just you talking about that aphasia disease. It's I wouldn't wish that on anybody,
except for Dan Snyder.
Except for Dan Snyder. We'll get to him eventually, but
yeah.
Matt, have you seen the new show on HBO, Winning Time?
No, I have not.
Man, do you even have HBO?
No.
You got to get it. You don't have.
HBO, man.
I'm too broke for HBO. I think it's
Dude,
like $10 a month.
I have Disney Plus. I have Netflix. I have a gym membership. I've got too much stuff. I've got too many things I got to pay for. I got my bills.
Yeah.
I don't know. HBO has always been like HBO is cool. I mean, I was thinking about getting.
Dude, they got some of the best shows of all time.
Well, I'm a really big Last Week Tonight guy. You know Last Week Tonight, right?
No. Oh no, that's that John Oliver show. Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
He's been getting a little more out there recently, and he's been leaning a certain way politically more and more. But I still love him. I watch all of his stuff. I love his.
Well,
show.
they all do.
Yeah, well, yeah, they got to pick a side. It's kind of their thing.
That's why I hate politics.
That's how it goes with political comedy. But at the same time, I'm a.
But
huge,
you know, like the one political guy that I do watch, not religiously, but every time I see him, I don't watch him on HBO anymore. But he puts up videos on YouTube a lot. Actually, is Bill Maher, and it's not that I like the guy. I like his work, but he's a very left-leaning guy. Maybe not so much these days because he's catching a lot of heat from the left, but he's one of those guys where I always, if something's going on that's a hot issue and his name pops up on my feed, I always click it to see what his take is on things because usually he has a funny spin on it too, even though he's serious at the same time. So I always, but that's the only one, like everyone else, maybe, like, no, because political stuff is such a buzzkill.
Oh no, for sure.
But but yeah, like I've seen John Oliver a few times. He's funny. But dude, this show on HBO, Winning Time, it's about the Los Angeles Lakers dynasty in the '80s, starting at the very beginning, and they've casted all the big names. Like they've casted a guy to play Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and guess who's playing the Jerry Buss, the owner of the team back in those days?
Who?
John C. Reilly.
That is awesome.
I've sold you already. I've sold you already, Matt.
So this is not a documentary like The Last Dance. This is more of like a.
No, they actually hire actors to play these guys, and they over-exaggerate everything.
It's a reenactment movie. Like it's a movie. It's not.
Yeah, but it's more of a, like, it's not a sports drama. I mean, there is sports drama in it, but it's like 80% of it is like a comedy.
It's a show, right? Not a movie, right?
Right. It's a television show. It's they have an hour-long episode every week. I think so far they've put out 5 episodes. They're probably going to do. They usually do around 10 with a show like that.
Okay.
And it's absolutely hilarious.
Hey, dude, maybe I'll come over and I'll watch an episode or something.
Yeah, some of the stuff that they have in this, because I'm a big sports historian,
especially basketball.
Basketball, my favorite eras of basketball were the 80s and 90s, definitely. '80s, because I was born in 1988, so I feel like I missed out on the 80s because that's when it got really good.
Yeah.
And, you got the Celtics and the Lakers dominating. You got the Sixers were very good. The Trailblazers were very good at times. And then at the very end of the 80s, the Detroit Pistons came up and literally knocked everybody off their pedestals because they were the most defensive team maybe in history.
Right.
But that whole era is just very fascinating to me. But they take the Lakers dynasty and turn it into a hilarious comedy. And, case in point, John C. Reilly is the owner, Jerry Buss, in those days. And the season starts with him first buying the team. And it's mayhem because he doesn't even have the money to do it, but somehow he pulls it off. And he's basically broke as soon as he buys the team. And he spends the whole time convincing everybody that he still has all this money when he really doesn't. Wow. But if you know the history, the Lakers are about to just take off and take over the entire league.
Right.
And the money's just going to fly everywhere. There's, if you like shows that have a lot of sex and stuff like that, it's loaded with that. Okay. It's a hilarious show, and the banter between the players when they finally start getting together and playing games is absolutely, like, some of the stuff floored me, especially in the last episode because they finally started playing games in the regular season, and some of the things that they say to each other, it's like you wish that those things actually really happened but they probably didn't. They're probably just there for comedic effect, but.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, and I highly recommend anybody who is listening to watch that show, especially if you like NBA history, because it's glorious to watch, and I've been laughing my butt off watching it every week. So speaking of sports, Matthew.
Whoa.
Did my voice crack?
We're not gonna slide past that voice crack there, bud.
No, we're not. It was probably tuning in to my inner Muppetry.
You've been voice cracking like 6 times so far. What's going on?
Yeah, I got like.
Are your balls dropping finally, dude?
No, it's probably because it's late at night and it's like probably trying to tell me to go to bed.
Just say, fair enough.
But so since we're on the subject of sports, which most people are going to tune out since most of the people are from overseas. But I feel like I have to talk about this anyway. And I have to talk about it because I have some people who are still mad at me about switching my allegiance, and it's because of this guy, Dan Snyder. Yes, we're going to talk about Dan Snyder again. And guess what? I'm going to keep talking about him until he's gone. And I don't care if I'm not a fan of that team anymore. This guy ruined something. I feel like he stepped on a part of my childhood and then literally made me watch it bleed out. So this guy, have you heard what happened to him, Matt?
No.
So we've heard about the recent things. You've heard about the sexual harassment allegations made against him and the top people who worked for him in that organization. You've heard about that, right?
No, actually.
No, because they had a hearing in Congress about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Congress has been after him for the past couple months.
I really am out of the loop. Huh.
Yeah, he changed the name to the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was a glorious move. He wanted a franchise cornerback, so he signed Ronald Weasley.
Carson Wentz, baby.
Yeah. So now it seems like. And this has only happened in the past 2 days. It seems like he is legitimately in trouble now of losing this team. I don't believe it because every time somebody says this or has dirt against him, he always seems to come out and still be the owner of the Washington franchise. But this one in particular is pretty big because apparently in the NFL, when a team has games, all 32 teams, all 32 owners, they have to share ticket revenue from those games.
Right.
And it all goes into a pool, and then it's distributed evenly amongst all 32 teams. Well, guess who is holding back money from the pool.
Dan Snyder, baby.
Daniel effing Snyder yet again. Now, I don't know. They don't know if this is true. This is an investigation, but Congress is doing the investigation, and they have apparently it's leaked out that they believe that he has been skimming money out of this pool to keep it away from the other 31 teams. Which, if that is the case, he is in big trouble because the other 31 owners can do something about that. They can vote him out of the league and have his team taken away from him. Apparently. Now, being the skeptical former former Washington Redskins fan that I am, and knowing that nothing ever happens to this guy, I don't think anything will until I see it, because I wasted 33 years with that guy at the helm, and everybody else is like, oh, this is finally it. This is finally what's going to get him out of there. I'll believe it when I see it, folks. Because that man, it seems like he is, how do they say it in The Departed? A protected informant.
He's a Teflon Don, dude. Charges don't stick.
The charges never stick to this guy. And even when they do, he's still in charge. So Matt, what do you think of this?
My question to you, I know you're now, I now know you're a Buckaroos fan. So
yes, and thank God for that.
If Dan Snyder leaves, are you gonna consider being a fan of them again or no?
No, because they're not the Redskins anymore.
They're the Commanders.
It'd be one thing, changing the name didn't really. I mean, I was upset about it, but I was like, yeah, whatever. We can pick something better. And they picked something much worse that nobody wanted.
Honestly, I kind of wish they just stayed the Washington football team.
I would have been okay with that. I agree.
But I think.
But no, even if Dan Snyder is kicked out of there and they bring in, a lot of people say Jeff Bezos wants to own a football team.
God, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we were talking about how much you liked Elon Musk, so you probably hate this guy.
I hate Jeff Bezos.
But I guarantee I still would think he would be better than Dan Snyder.
I don't want Jeff Bezos owning a football team. I don't want Jeff Bezos owning Amazon, let alone a football team. All right? I hate everything about Jeff Bezos. He's a garbage person. He's a garbage person. He looks like a lizard, all right? And he's secretly a Superman villain, all right?
Is he?
I don't know. Probably. The
man he kind of looks like Lex Luthor a little bit.
He looks like Lex Luthor and Dr. Evil's love child. Kind of does.
Yeah.
It kind of does. But
he kind of does. I can see that.
With the billions of dollars to match and the questionable motives attached as well. Not a Jeff Bezos fan. If he owns a football team, no. I don't even know what I would say. Just no.
You think they would change the name to the Washington Amazons? Which would still be a better name than the Commanders.
I really wish you didn't even put that idea in my head. I don't like
Jeff
Bezos.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't come over here and hurt me.
I'm messing with you. But I don't like Jeff Bezos at all.
Yeah. Well, I despise Dan Snyder.
I don't reach your Dan Snyder's levels of hatred because that's just not possible. But
no.
I'm not a Jeff Bezos fan at all.
No, but this Dan Snyder would eat his own children if he could.
Yeah, if they found out it would help his ticket sales, he'd probably do it.
He would do it instantly. It wouldn't even be a second thought. This guy's awful. But he's been trying. Apparently, allegedly, he's been trying to steal money from the other 31 teams, and it's like how many things does this man have to do before he's kicked out of there? I just don't understand it. Like, this guy is a disease that is plaguing the league. It's holding the other 31 teams back. I read the other day that the Washington is last year they were 31st in attendance out of the 32 teams. Can you imagine the Washington Redskins in their heyday being 31st in attendance? They used to be like top 5.
And now they're the second.
And now they're 31st. There's only one team that has worse attendance, and I think it was the Jaguars.
I could see that.
I could be wrong about that, but I would assume it's the Jaguars because I still haven't met a Jaguars fan in my entire life. I've met a fan from every other team, but not the Jaguars. And I live in Florida, and I still haven't found a Jaguars fan.
I've met one Jaguar fan when I was a kid because he was like one of the kids I played football with, dad or something like that.
Yeah.
And he is from Jax, and he's like a big Jax fan.
So in all your time living in the state of Florida, you found one Jaguars fan.
Yeah.
That says it all right there. And it's not like I'm crapping on the Jaguars. It's just like, hey, come on, you got to get more fans.
Nah, man. The Jaguars can suck my right nut, man. All right.
Ooh.
Nah, screw the Jags, man.
Why do you hate the Jaguars so much? You're a Cowboys fan.
Hey.
What did the Jaguars ever do to you?
Hey, I don't even know. They existed. I don't know.
They existed?
At least. I mean, you know what? To be fair.
What, did they spring out of that Dallas Star at the 50-yard line and start crawling around like a bunch of demons and scaring all the children there?
I mean, honestly, they're not that bad. They're not the Eagles. So, you know me. You know my.
Who do you hate the worst in that division?
Oh, the Eagles.
Eagles.
It doesn't even come close.
You know who mine was when I was still a Washington fan?
It was
never the Cowboys. It was never the Eagles. It was always the New York Giants.
I remember that. I
cannot stand.
Well, in that division, yeah, you guys. That was the division thing. It was the Cowboys and the Eagles, and it was the Redskins at the time, the Redskins and the Giants. It's always been
the Giants. The New York Giants have the whiniest fans that I've ever seen in my life. They are still mad about that. Remember 2 years ago when Washington won the division with a 7-9 record?
Yeah.
And the last game was against the Eagles, and the Giants were sitting at 6-10, and they were waiting for because they beat Washington twice that year. They were waiting for the Eagles to beat Washington because if the Eagles beat Washington, then the New York Giants would have slipped in with the number 1 seed in the NFC least.
Right.
Which is what they deserve to be called, with a 6-10 record. And the Eagles in the game pulled Jalen Hurts and threw in I forget what the quarterback's name. It was a guy we've hardly ever heard of, but they pulled Jalen Hurts in at the beginning of the fourth quarter and threw this guy in, and they of course Washington won the game because the quarterback played even worse than Hurts did. But after the game, the New York Giants fans accused the Philadelphia Eagles of throwing the game in order to keep them out of the playoffs. Did you hear about that?
No.
No, you haven't heard about that? It was all over ESPN, like every network, like all these people, because there are so many anchors on ESPN that are New York Giants fans. It's sickening. So they were all flipping out of accusing the Eagles of basically everything except treason. And then it was and they wouldn't stop whining about it, and they're still talking about it to this day, New York Giants fans. And if you wanted to win the division, win more than 6 games, please, and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
It's awful that you think that a team tanked just to keep you out of the playoffs when you had a miserable 6-10 record. Do better. Do better than the Washington football team who won with a 7-9 record. How about that? Giants fans suck. They are the epitome of whining little babies.
Just that little end card. Just Giants fans suck.
They do suck.
No,
I hate Giants fans. They are awful. If there's any Giants fans listening that subscribe to the channel, you're okay. And you can contact me anytime, and I will personally apologize to you for this little rant I'm going on. But come on, win more than 6 games if you want to make the playoffs, please. And I don't want to hear about we've had the other day I saw all these Giants fans talking about when are the Giants going to return to glory? Well, it was only 6 years ago that you were good. Washington hasn't been good for 30 years.
That's fair.
So sit down in the little corner, short pants, and stop whining about everything.
You sold out pretty hard there. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty fun. That was pretty funny. Oh, I hate Giants fans. They all suck. Hey, but if you're a sub to my channel, it's okay. I don't hate you. You're a unique and special snowflake, and I love everything about you.
But I can't stand them. They whine about everything.
Not the ones that are your fans, though. Not the ones that are your fans. Not the ones that are your fans, you damn sellout, you. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, they can stay. They can stay.
That was funny. Because the immediate backpedal of like, wait, I might have a Giants fan in my audience now.
I think I do have a couple, actually.
Well, yeah,
it's from the rant video.
Yeah, you're not in that division anymore, so they actually like you.
Yeah, so, I'm not going to rant about them anymore unless they do something that's really ridiculous again, like whine about not making the playoffs when you only won 6 freaking games.
Yeah.
Plus, they are absurd. They are like they really act absurd at times, and it's infuriating because they act like they've been, pissed on for the past, century, when 6 years ago they were good. They were whipping everybody's butt. They had one of the best defensive lines of all time.
Hell yeah, they did.
I mean, they're the reason that Tom Brady doesn't have 9 rings instead of 7.
Yeah, because the Giants were a good team.
They made Tom Brady run for his life in those 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And that was not that long ago. So I don't want to hear it from Giants fans anymore.
I don't know.
They had their time in the sun. Now, and they, it's only been like 6 years where they've been awful, and it's glorious.
It's great. It's a nice transition.
It's a nice booster for you and your Cowboys every year.
It really is, man. It really is. It really is. We need it. I need it.
I've never hated Cowboys fans, though. I mean, I know they get a bad rep because they're delusional. I think I used to love Washington, and I think Washington fans are delusional.
Well, Cowboys fans are their own hype men. That's what it is. We get super excited about the Cowboys. As soon as we start winning games, it's it's America's team, and how about them Cowboys and all that. And you've heard me talk about it in the first episode. Like I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. Always have been, probably always will be. But I recognize that we're not a Super Bowl team. We're a solid team. We're, like I've said it before, we're like a wild card / first or second round of playoffs team like every year because we've got good players, but we just needed better coaches, and we need Jerry Jones to get his nose out of our coaching.
Yeah, he picks bad coaches. He does pick good talent, though, but we already covered that in the first episode.
Exactly.
What was I going to say? Oh, how I mentioned I was dissing my own former fan base. How I said, Washington fans are delusional.
Yeah.
You want to know the most recent case in point why they're delusional?
Hit me with it.
Well, I mean, they weren't. It wasn't the only ones. They weren't. I feel like most of them were being told because every year they're like, oh, this is where everything gets great, but they don't realize that Dan Snyder has a stranglehold, and he's got his pants unzipped at the same time when he's holding on to these people. Because they mentioned they were trying to get a franchise quarterback, and for weeks I saw especially these YouTube channels that I used to get in my feed a lot when I did those Commanders Rants videos. But these channels literally are like, Aaron Rodgers is right around the corner. We're going to get him in the offseason. We're going to get Russell Wilson. It's a sure thing. It's a sure done deal. And even all those radio stations that, I still listen to a few of them that are local radio stations in Maryland that cover this stuff. Like literally all these fans are convinced that they're going to get Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers at the beginning of the season before it starts in, 6 odd months or something like that. Yeah, they were convinced that one of these guys, Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, was going to be their starting quarterback. And then they end up getting Ronald Weasley. And as soon as they get Ronald Weasley, they're like, oh, we're playoff bound, baby. Let's go. Let's get fired up. And I'm like, you frickin' Muppets. Like, this is why Dan Snyder has a stranglehold over you cucks. because you guys don't see reality anymore. All you've been doing has been taking his crap for so long that it is eating away at your brain, and it needs to stop. Please, just those are the fans that need to leave and just pick a different sport for a while, or pick up chess or something like that, because they don't realize that they're what?
I was just laughing.
Oh, okay. They need to pick up some other hobby, because this commander hobby is really messing with their psyche, and it's sad to see.
No, it is sad. It's that whole fan base is they've been putting up with Dan, and for no reason.
I feel bad for him, but I feel like they need to hear rants like I just did for the past 3 minutes and come back to reality for a minute.
I mean, hey, you woke up. You're not taking the pill anymore, all right?
No, I'm enjoying my short time being a Buccaneers fan so far.
Exactly.
Shit, in the first week, Tom Brady came out of retirement. It's already paying off.
Yeah.
And for the Commanders fans that are listening right now, you guys can throw any shade you want at me, and some of you have done it. And I would just like to add, wake up, because because as long as Dan Snyder is the owner of that team, you are going to be eating warm and moist bowls of turds until he is no longer there.
Wow.
And if you are aware of that and are still a fan of the team, you deserve what you get. So,
well spoken, sir. Well spoken.
Yeah, I hope you either leave or, one thing to end it on a positive note. If Dan Snyder ends up kicking, I mean, he's been trying to kick people out of saying bad things about him for years. But if he ends up getting kicked out of the league, if you're a Commanders fan listening, I will actually join you in whatever parade or party or anything that you're trying to throw. Even if I'm not invited, I will show up anyway, just to congratulate you guys on sending the devil out of paradise, if you will, because that is something that team needs desperately. And maybe if it happens, you guys can pick a better name than frickin' Commanders, because that's awful. But I hope that happens, and I will join you in the proceedings if you will still allow me, being a former fan. And I will help anything. I'll even throw pumpkins at his car. How about that? That'll be something good I can do.
Hell yeah.
As he's leaving the establishment, I'll throw pumpkins at his car or something.
There you go.
Because he's got to go, and I feel like he's holding all those fans hostage.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's sad. Matt, anything else you want to touch up on?
I have a quick one. If you don't have anything else.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you familiar with Hafthor Bjornsson?
Isn't that the guy who was? He's like a strength guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he's a strong man. And,
Yeah. Okay.
So there was a lot of back and forth between Hafthor Bjornsson a while ago. There was a lot of back and forth between Hafthor Bjornsson and Eddie Hall, who's another strongman. They've both won strongman. Like they've both been champions before.
Okay.
So all this, what I'm getting into is basically Eddie Hall won back in like 2017, and Bjornsson contested it, saying that he didn't deserve it, and blah 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 blah. Got into a huge feud, turned into one of those let's fight over it. And they were like, let's do it. We're going to do a heavyweight boxing match against each other. And they both trained. Hafthor Bjornsson got shredded. I mean, this man has an 8-pack with a V-cut at 300 pounds. The man is terrifying.
That guy's terrifying no matter what.
Well, he was like 400-something pounds, but he leaned the hell out. They're both over 300 pounds. They call it the heaviest heavyweight match of all time. And Bjornsson kicked the crap out of Eddie Hall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so
okay,
when did this happen?
This was actually very recent. Like this happened on the 19th.
I'm surprised I didn't hear about this, because I'm actually I actually love boxing, and anytime there's a big fight, I don't know if it was publicized that much, but it seems like anytime an event like this would happen, that I'd definitely be aware of it.
So
maybe that just goes to show you what kind of a boomer I am, and I'm so out of the loop now.
But this is this is like so basically he was trading jabs the whole time, and like the last 2 minutes he put him down on the mat, and he put Eddie Hall down on the mat, and he won. Um, he basically I think he made Eddie Hall tap out. I don't remember either that or it went to the last second. But what it leads to in the future now is Hafthor Bjornsson kind of wants to start boxing now, like being in the heavyweight. And
Oh,
guess who said he wants to train him?
no.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Oh God.
He wants to train.
Hey,
Hafthor
I
Bjornsson.
love The Rock, but come on, stop it.
No, he actually
You got to
does.
pick you got to pick a guy who actually knows boxing.
I know. No, I think he wants to train
And
him
I
for,
love The Rock. He's like one of my 5 favorite people on the planet.
I don't know if he wants to train him for actual boxing or if it's just to like get him in shape, like get him in even more shape. I don't know if he specifically said he wanted to train him to fight more.
Yeah,
or
but
if
The
it was
Rock
to, like,
doesn't know
get him in
anything
shape.
about boxing. I
I
mean,
know.
he probably claim he does, but
I mean, he could probably train him in the gym to get stronger and leaner. That's what I think he means when he says that he wants to train
yeah,
him.
but
Like,
you
I
got
thought,
if you're gonna box, you got to get trained by a boxer.
yeah, no, for sure. Like, but I think it's kind of funny. Like, celebrity boxer, their celebrity trainer now, apparently Dwayne Johnson. So
Yeah.
I thought you would find that entertaining because Bjornsson and I like Hafthor Bjornsson. I'm not a Game of Thrones guy personally, never have been, but I love those scenes with the mountain where he like chops a horse's head off or talks about it. I like Hafthor
Oh
Bjornsson.
yeah, those scenes are crazy.
Yeah, but he got
He doesn't talk much in that show though. Like I was a fan of that show, but
yeah.
he doesn't even when he doesn't have a lot of screen time, and even when he does, he doesn't say very much.
Like, let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find a picture of him now. This man got absolutely shredded. Okay, shredded might not be the best term, but because he's still really lean.
Yeah.
Um, where is this? Copy image. Perfect. Internet stuff. Bam! I put it in our chat between us. Look at him,
Holy God.
and he's still like 6'8" or 6'9" or whatever, and he looks like that.
Look, yeah, and it's really thinned out his face too.
Yeah, he almost. I mean, if Hafthor Bjornsson didn't have a very specific look on his face, you probably wouldn't even recognize that as him. Plus, he's
No,
covered in
it doesn't.
he's
It doesn't.
covered
Yeah.
in tattoos now. He's covered in tattoos now. But
Well, he was. I'm pretty sure he was covered in tattoos then too.
did he have the full chest piece? I know he had like a sleeve.
I don't know.
I don't know if he had the
I
full
don't know
chest
because
piece.
I don't know him. I don't really follow him, but I do know that he did have a lot of tattoos before. Maybe he's added to it, but who knows? But yeah, he looks.
That was like
I mean, he looked terrifying before, but now it looks like, you better hide your girlfriend.
that was a week. That was like a week before the fight. And so he didn't lose
Oh,
all
yeah.
the water weight. He didn't lose all the water weight and get shredded right before that. Like he's obviously thinned out something fierce, but like, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
yeah. Hafthor kicked the crap out of Eddie Hall, and I thought it was awesome. And I thought you would enjoy that story. But
Yeah, I did. I did.
that's all the points I
I'm kind of upset that I didn't hear about it because I kind of would have been. I don't know if I would have bought the pay-per-view if it was a pay-per-view, but I definitely would have been interested to find out what happened.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Yeah.
But
All right.
all.
Well, you want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, it's now Tuesday.
And it's 1 a.m. for us, so
It's a good time to wrap it up. We covered a lot of things this time. Yeah. Do you want to do it again? We should actually try to record it on a Sunday night because we always like debate whether we'll do it Sunday night or Monday night, but we'll shoot for Sunday night next
it's
time.
Case of the Mondays appearing on Tuesday.
Yeah. We can't make a habit of this.
It's because we have a case of the Mondays.
We do. Yeah. No, we really do.
But yeah, I
Um,
mean, I'm down to record on Sunday. I'm first cut, so I should be out by like 8 or 9 again. So
Okay.
yeah, if you want to do it, I'd rather record at night anyway.
All right, that sounds good.
It was kind of all over the place for us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, this is King Boomer. You've listened to me and Matt rant about various topics. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Matt, say goodbye.
Cousin Boomer out.